For years, one of Android's most beloved apps was doing something unthinkable. While you used it to move files, organize photos, or simply free up space, that same app was turning your phone into a money-making machine for another company. We're not talking about just any app. We're talking about one with over 500 million downloads, recommended by YouTubers, tech blogs, and forums. An app that seemed unsafe, but ironically had access to everything inside your phone. Behind that innocent interface was hiding something much darker: hidden code, phantom connections to remote servers, and a system designed to exploit you and anyone else who installed it. And the worst part, Google didn't realize it until it was far too late. The app was ES File Explorer. Today, we'll see how it went from being Android's most trusted file manager to becoming one of the biggest spyware and fraud scandals in mobile ecosystem history. Let's go back to 2010, when Android was still pretty new. The iPhone was dominating the market, and Android phones were everywhere. But they had this one annoying problem that drove people crazy. The built-in file manager was absolute garbage. Because if you wanted to move files around or access your network storage, they never worked. It was like they gave you a computer, but forgot to include half the features. A company called eStrongs decided to fix this by building an app that could do things which seemed impossible at the time. And that's when ES File Explorer showed up on the Google Play Store. You could browse files in tabs, just like a web browser. You could access shared folders on your home network and even manage files on cloud storage devices like Dropbox and Google Drive. Stuff that power users were doing on their desktops, you could now do it anywhere, all from your phone. And the app was completely free. There were no ads cluttering the screen, no annoying pop-ups, and no subscription fees. It simply did what it was built to do. So, by 2013, ES File Explorer became the king of file managers, as Android forums were full of people praising it, while tech blogs called it essential. If you were serious about your Android game, you had ES File Explorer installed. And the numbers don't lie, as ES File Explorer had racked up over 500 million downloads by 2014. That's 500 million people who trusted this app with access to every file on their phone. Photos, documents, messages, all of it. And honestly, why wouldn't they? The app actually worked. It was fast, reliable, and free, with no catch. And users kept recommending them to anyone who was looking for a file manager on forums. But all good things come to an end. And for ES File Explorer, that end started in 2015. But before we continue, a quick message from today's sponsor, Incogni. Your personal information is exposed online right now. Your address, phone number, email, even details about your family members. It's all published on hundreds of websites for anyone to find. And the consequences are real. Criminals use this information for scams, stalking, and illegal activities. Your home address and phone number are exposed, so stalkers can easily locate you or your family. Even employers, landlords, and complete strangers can access your personal information. While you can technically ask them to delete your data, doing it manually would take you hundreds of hours, because there are thousands of websites constantly selling your information. That's why I use Incogni. Here's how it works. You create your account, authorize Incogni just once, and they automatically track down and remove your information from over 420 data brokers and people search sites. Since this information can reappear, Incogni sends repeated requests to keep it off permanently. But here's the best part. With the unlimited plan and custom removals, you can go way beyond that. Found your information on a specific website? Just copy the link, send it to Incogni, and a dedicated privacy expert personally handles removing it for you. You can submit an unlimited number of links, new sites, public databases, directories, practically any site exposing your data. It's the most complete way to disappear from the internet. Take your personal data back with Incogni. Use code BYTE, B-Y-T-E, at the link below and get 60% off an annual plan. Go to incogni.com/byte. A huge thanks to Incogni for supporting the channel. Now let's continue with the video. Something changed in 2015 as users started noticing weird stuff happening with the app. What used to be a clean and simple app was suddenly showing ads. I don't mean just banner ads at the bottom. They were aggressive, intrusive ads that popped up out of nowhere. Users started complaining, but the ads kept coming. Then things got creepier. Some tech-savvy users started monitoring their phone's network activity and discovered ES File Explorer was sending data to servers in China. Lots of data. Even when the app wasn't open, it was quietly sending information about your apps, your usage patterns, and files in the background. And when these users started digging deeper, they found a folder in the app called Dianjin. They noticed their phones were constantly trying to connect to servers in China, specifically China Unicom, which has ties to the Chinese government. People who used firewalls reported blocking hundreds of connection attempts every single day from ES File Explorer, even when it wasn't in use. But the worst was yet to come. In May 2016, ES File Explorer pushed an update that absolutely enraged users. The app installed something called DU Charge Booster, which hijacked your lock screen. Can you imagine unlocking your phone and seeing ads plastered all over your lock screen? Ads you never asked for, ads from an app you thought you could trust. The backlash was almost immediate as tech websites that once recommended ES File Explorer immediately reversed course. Tech news sites which had praised the app for years started to warn against the use of the app. XDA developers warned users to uninstall it immediately. The negativity became so intense that eStrongs removed the lock screen ads a few weeks later. But it was a little too late, with damage done and trust broken. Users started asking questions. What happened to ES File Explorer? Why did it go from a helpful tool to an intrusive nightmare? The answer lay in who owned the company. Around 2015 and 2016, ES File Explorer changed hands. The original developers at eStrongs were out, and the app became part of a subsidiary called ES Global, which was owned by a larger Chinese company named DO Global. DO Global was partially owned by Baidu, one of China's biggest tech giants. And overnight, ES File Explorer wasn't a passion project anymore, but a business asset. And businesses want profits. DO Global were buying up popular apps and turning them into money-making machines, which made ES File Explorer the perfect target, as it already had hundreds of millions of users. All DO Global had to do was figure out how to monetize them with ads, and that was just the beginning. By 2017, the app was unrecognizable. The simple, fast file manager from 2013 was gone, and in its place was a bloated, slow, ad-filled mess. The app kept getting bigger, eating more of your phone memory as features that used to work smoothly became buggy. People got so fed up they started passing around version 3.2.5, the last version before it all went to hell, like some kind of underground software. One frustrated user on XDA developers said it best: ES File Explorer has become bloated. The company started adding unnecessary features that made it a resource-hungry hog. I loved it in 2013 when it was great, but recent changes forced me to find something different. This was only the start of what became truly disturbing. On January 16, 2019, a security researcher named Baptiste Robert posted something on Twitter that made everyone panic. He'd discovered a massive security flaw in ES File Explorer. If you had ever opened the app, even once, your phone was at risk. Because now, anyone on the same Wi-Fi network could access all your photos, videos, and documents. Coffee shops, airports, hotel lobbies, anywhere with public Wi-Fi became a potential crime scene, and most people had no idea. Baptiste demonstrated the vulnerability on Twitter, With more than 100 million downloads, ES File Explorer is one of the most famous Android file managers. The surprise is, if you open the app at least once, anyone connected to the same local network can remotely get a file from your phone. ES File Explorer released a fix 2 days later, but the damage was done. Avast, the antivirus company, scanned their user base and found over 60,000 people still using the broken version weeks after the fix came out. Yet somehow, Google chose not to remove the app, and ES File Explorer stayed on the Google Play Store, accumulating downloads. But Google was about to get a wake-up call. Because in April 2019, investigative journalists uncovered something so shocking that even Google couldn't ignore it anymore. On April 17, 2019, BuzzFeed News published an investigation that changed everything. Reporter Craig Silverman worked with security researchers from Checkpoint and Method Media Intelligence to expose what DO Global was really doing. ES File Explorer wasn't just collecting your data and leaving you vulnerable to hackers, it was actively stealing money from advertisers and using your phone to do it. The scheme was called click fraud, and it's exactly what it sounds like. When you installed ES File Explorer or any of DO Global's other apps, there was hidden code inside clicking on ads in the background without you knowing. Even if the screen was off and the phone was stuffed in your pocket, it didn't matter. The app was generating fake clicks and making advertisers think real people were actually clicking their ads. Every fake click meant money for DO Global. Advertisers were paying for what they thought were real customers. Instead, they were paying for robot clicks generated by malicious code. BuzzFeed estimated the fraud could have stolen millions of dollars. But wait, it gets worse. DO Global wasn't even being honest about who they were. When you downloaded ES File Explorer from the Play Store, the developer name wasn't DO Global. It was listed under generic names like PicTools Group or Photo Artist Studio. DO Global was deliberately hiding their identity to avoid accountability. They knew what they were doing was wrong, so they covered their tracks. At least 6 different DO Global apps contained the click fraud code. All of them were violating Google Play Store policies. All of them were stealing from advertisers, and ES File Explorer was right in the middle of it. When BuzzFeed contacted Google with their findings, Google confirmed the violations, and on April 26, 2019, Google made the hard decision. They banned DO Global from the Play Store. Almost 100 apps DO Global created, with over 600 million combined installs, were gone, and ES File Explorer was officially dead. DO Global tried to save face. On April 29, 2019, they posted a statement on their website. It was full of corporate speak and fake apologies, but let's break down what they actually said. We fully understand the seriousness of the allegations. As such, we immediately conducted an internal investigation on this matter. We regret to find irregularities in some of our products' use of AdMob advertisements. Given this, we fully understand and accept Google's decision. With that, DO Global promised to cooperate with Google and strictly follow relevant regulations going forward. But it didn't matter anymore, as ES File Explorer was gone from the Play Store and it wasn't coming back. DO Global's reputation was destroyed. Baidu, their parent company, smartly distanced themselves from the scandal. And again, in June 2020, the story took another turn when the government of India banned ES File Explorer along with 58 other Chinese apps for data and privacy concerns. India wasn't playing games, as they recognized ES File Explorer as a threat to national security and banned it outright. DO Global faded away as Baidu moved on, and the developers behind the million-dollar fraud just disappeared. But the 500 million people who trusted ES File Explorer paid the price with their data. Today, it still exists on sketchy download sites and third-party app stores. But if you're smart, you won't touch it.